second. Don't go anywhere. I got to take a quick break. We'll come right back. Affordable Interest Mortgage is up next, and they want to take care of you and your mortgage needs. And don't forget about the seminar tonight, which I believe you can still register and go to. Call 720-895-0500.
Who doesn't want to own their home faster? But can it be done without paying more money? Here's how. Quit paying compound interest. Why is it when you borrow $400,000 for a home loan, you pay back $708,000 at 4.25%? That's over $308,000 in interest. Call Affordable Interest Mortgage at 720-895-0500 and learn how not to pay all that interest. We're holding an educational seminar at Memory Lane Museum on April 18th at 6:30 p.m. Join us for dinner and a walk through the 50s and 60s with cars, motorcycles, an old-fashioned diner and more. Go to aimortgage.com/events to reserve your seats. Learn how simple interest mortgages will save you thousands in excess interest while allowing you the ability to access your equity when needed. Join us for dinner at the Memory Lane Museum, April 18th, 6:30 p.m. Call Affordable Interest Mortgage at 720-895-0500 for your reservation or sign up at aimortgage.com/events. Keep more of your money with Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. And MLS 298191, regulated by DORA, equal credit lender.
Colorado Select is a network of ASE certified master mechanics who all adhere to the highest standards of service and excellence in Colorado. At coloradoselect.com, you'll find a group of mechanics who believe that it's better to maintain your car than to repair it. Nobody likes it, but regular maintenance is necessary to keep your car running. All of the John Rush approved member shops at Colorado Select have the resources and the knowledge you need to keep your car on the road. And because they are part of Colorado Select, you know they are mechanics you can trust. At coloradoselect.com, you'll find a group of member shops who will answer your questions honestly and give you top-of-the-line service so you can get back on the road. For more information about Colorado Select and all the member shops, be sure to listen to The Best of Colorado Select every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Drive Radio right here on KLZ 560 and visit coloradoselect.com. Keep your car on the road. Select the best at Colorado Select.
We at Crawford Broadcasting are seeking a full-time social media promotions professional to assist in growing our followers and listeners. Plus, on all of our CBC West stations here in Colorado and in California, someone with strong professional social media experience. Initial interviews will take place Monday, April 22nd. Final interviews will take place Wednesday, April 24th. Send your resume and cover letter to General Manager Don Crawford Jr. today. Email 4crawford@gmail.com. The number 4, Crawford@gmail.com. KLZ Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Stay up to date with Rush to Reason after the show on Twitter @Rush to Reason and on Facebook.com/Rush to Reason.
All right, Rush to Reason, Denver's Afternoon Rush, KLZ 560. Brad, I know you got a comment on our last guest real quick. I've got Lindsey Singer coming on as well, so we'll make it quick. But, Brad, what's your comment?
Yeah, hey, super quick. There is a great book. You may have mentioned it. I don't know. I joined the conversation late, called Islam and Terrorism by Peter Gabriel.
Oh, yeah, he's a good guy, too.
That is just makes all these points. And, boy, I mean, this guy was right on point.
Oh, John is, in fact, we were just talking through the break, Brad. We'll get John on. I know. Used to have him on very, very frequently, and then he got busy with some things he was doing, and he's a frequent guest on, Fox News on a regular basis. But we'll get John back on, especially with what's going on with Omar and some of the others in Washington, D.C. right now, and even some of the presidential candidates coming up. We'll start getting John on and try to even do a couple of segments where we can have him on and even answer questions. But he is spot on. You won't find too many guys outside of John that know the Islam side of the fence. And by the way, it's not a faith, it's not a religion, it is a political ideology, and John knows that very well.
Well, and I tell you, I tell a lot of my, I don't have a lot of them, but some of my leftist friends, and when they read this book, boy, do they have their eyes open, because it is just
it's a wake-up call, isn't it?
It's fun to watch them read it, because they don't know what to do.
Yep. Very well said. Brad, thanks. Really appreciate the comments. Good stuff. No, appreciate it very much. And, yeah, we will do our best to get John back on here even in the next couple of weeks. And great guy. And, yeah, read the book, Raising a Jihad Generation. Watch the TV show on WVWTV.com. And he's also a co-author of Sharia, The Threat to America. Lindsey Singer joining us now from Colorado Rising Action. Lindsey, welcome. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Always a joy. Appreciate
so Lindsey's at another place that's a threat to Colorado freedom, and that's the state capitol.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with only 2 weeks left in the legislative session, there's not too much new to talk about, but there's a lot of bad stuff going on that we can surely continue to talk about.
Give it to us. Let's hear it.
Well, the governor signed the oil and gas bill, which I know you talk about a lot on this show. He signed that this week, and it's already showing it's going to be bad for Colorado. I mean, you've talked about that at length, but what I wanted to mention was that there's an effort by some people to repeal it and put a ballot measure to repeal that and to create more of a independent oil and gas regulatory board. So that got denied by the title board this week. They're going to try and have a rehearing with the title board. So look out for that. If it doesn't make it on the 19 ballot, hopefully it'll get on the 20 ballot. We'll be sure to continue to inform people and talk about that a lot as it moves forward.
Yeah, that would be great. As you said, I've talked in length about 181 and what it'll do to Colorado. And the one thing that I haven't done, Lindsey, is I have not had a chance to read exactly what it says now, because I know there's been some revisions, some tweaks made, even at the end before things were signed, and I did not get a chance to go through some of that to determine exactly what's there. But bottom line, it's not good for us no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I haven't read the exact bill, but I've read what people in the industry are saying about it, and they did end up being able to make put some amendments in.
We got a
place
few
on that
concessions
for the
in there,
final version.
yes.
Yeah, but they still didn't support it in the end. It was like we tried to make this hurt a little bit less, but it's still going to hurt.
Yeah, basically, instead of ripping the Band-Aid off, quickly, what they tried to do was maybe go just a little bit slower so it doesn't hurt quite so much. But the bottom line is there's still a wound and an injury there no matter how you look at it.
Absolutely, yeah. In Colorado, voters love having a say, and we have a say on more things than every other state, I would say. We have the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, and so trying to get this repeal measure on the ballot is something I think Colorado voters would like, and so we'll see how that goes.
And just so everybody knows, continue to please watch our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Rush to Reason, and it's just 2TO, not the number 2, but TO, Rush to Reason. And if you go to our Facebook page, we have got people out there that are constantly sending us, and Lindsey, this is even for you guys, you know this as well, but we constantly have people sending us the dates and places where some of these rallies and things are going on, where people can get involved, sign petitions, and so on. So we're going to continue to put those on Facebook so people know exactly where to go, when to go, and be a part of this.
Awesome.
So good stuff. All right, what else is going on?
So there's this automatic voter registration that I think is really troubling. The Democrats are proposing that when people sign up for Medicaid, that they would be automatically signed up as a voter, and then they would have to opt out of it to get off those lists. And there's a lot of concerns, especially with privacy, if people don't want, because if they sign up for Medicaid, their information is not automatically public. Voter rolls are public. So if you don't want your information public, and that's like specifically why you haven't registered to vote in some cases, that wouldn't be your choice anymore. You'd have to go in person.
Could it possibly be a HIPAA violation?
I would think so. I don't know about that, the HIPAA laws exactly, but I
think it's a HIPPO violation, Dan. No, just kidding, just kidding.
And I think the Democrats are counting on the people who are signing up for government assistance to be their voters.
Of course. That's exactly what they're thinking. You think? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's exactly what's going on.
Right. So they fast-tracked this through. It's probably going to make it, despite concerns, they, again, approved it out of committee, and it's probably going to make it all the way through. I think this is something that is going to be challenged in the courts after it passes, along with some of the other stuff the Democrats
I think just because of what you just said a moment ago, this is not keeping people's. Essentially, this makes anybody that signs up for Medicaid, their information now becomes public, and if you're not wanting that, you should not have an automatic opt-in. If anything, it should be an opt-out, and you got to check some sort of a box if you want to opt in. It shouldn't be the other way around. Which, by the way, we already have. When you go to register for driver's license and other things, you can opt in for voter registration then. So the reality is, it's very easy to get registered to vote. We don't need this.
In Colorado, we have same-day voter registration. You have a mail-in ballot. It really could not be easier to vote. And people who are paying attention and are engaged citizens, I think, should be the ones voting. And that involves a little bit of effort in registering to vote.
Well said. And on top of that, I would love to make sure that people have to show some sort of an ID before they actually do. Although with our way we do our mail-in ballots, that's really not it's really not something in Colorado we need to address. Although I think if you go down and do same-day voter registration, you need to provide some sort of, which there's a question. I don't know. Do you have to show ID if you do same-day voter registration? How does that work?
I think that technically you do. I'm just not sure if that's enforced everywhere. But I know to get into a library, I have to show a library card, or to get a book from a library. So
you have to show ID for almost everything we do today.
Yeah, but I think you
Exactly.
can get your voter ID just by showing up with an electric bill or something.
I think you can, which is crap, but whatever.
Because nobody's ever left one of those in the mailbox.
Yeah, nobody's ever. Well, yeah, or you've never grabbed your, anybody else's that happen to be laying on the counter of the, 15 people that live in your home. I mean, come on, give me a break. Anyways, all right. What?
Yeah.
What else, Lindsey?
So we see the whole budget picture now. Came out, I think it was last week actually. So we've probably talked about it a little bit, but $30 billion, depending on how you count it. I think last session or the session before they changed the way it's counted. So I think it's actually up to like $33 billion. But some of the committee or some of the executive offices count their budgets differently now. So we'll go with $30 billion because that's what's being reported. Transportation only got $300 million. That's the number that's out there, but really that's only $70 million of new money. The rest is funding that was already appropriated.
That is nothing.
That way. So yeah, and it's one-time funding. Like this, I think $300 million. The Republicans are using that as, look, we got what we wanted, close to $300 million. We got it. We compromised. But I don't think that's really. I think the Republicans get to call that a win, but it's not a win for Colorado.
No,
it's
that's not a
one-time
win.
funding, and it's not enough.
That fixes potholes. Guys, I'm being serious.
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's a pothole fix. $300 million does nothing to generate any kind of new roads in this particular state whatsoever. And I'm being very honest. That's a pothole fix. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's $2 million for 1 mile, one lane of 1 mile
Right.
of repaving a road. It's just insane prices, and that's not going to go very far.
No.
And driving on these roads, I'm actually up in the mountains this week, and driving on I-70 is like we all spend whatever it costs to realign our cars every year because the potholes are so bad.
Yep. No, you're exactly right, Lindsey. I mean, it's and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. When you look at the amount of potholes and the way some of our roads just need some minor reconstruction. I mean, they need major, but just minor just to keep things intact. If you just look at that end of things, that $300 million, we have CDOT on as guests all the time, and they would actually back me up on what I just said. $300 million is not going to do anything for them. None. Zilch.
Yeah.
Zero.
And that explains their $9 billion backlog.
Yes, it does. And I'm not saying CDOT's perfect. We've had them on air. We know there's issues there. So everybody out there, please don't, throw darts at me and say that I'm a CDOT lover. I'm not. I just know that every one of these particular, governmental entities, CDOT being one of them, they have limitations when it comes to their budget and what they're able to do. Could they do some things more efficiently internally inside of their budget? I think every single organization, including every household, Lindsey, could. But the reality is, it is what it is right now. We've got the overhead that they have. And the reality is the only way we're going to get more done when it comes to building new roads is we need major money. And $300 million is not major money.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the bottom line. I mean, with their budget, and their budget's like $2.5 billion or $2.2 billion or something like that a year. I mean, the reality is when you look at a total budget for the state of $30 billion, we're not putting anything to infrastructure. Nothing. 10%. We're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right.
That's a huge problem, especially when you have a growing metro area.
Yeah, we've gone from, when I was a kid, roughly we had, I don't know, barely 3 million people living in the state. We're now up to, 5.8 or, approaching 6 million people living in the state. So it's more than doubled.
Yeah, and they all drive on I-270 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's exactly right, Dad. Yeah, or down I-25 at night. I mean, the reality is they drive on basically 225, 25, 70, and 270 for the most part. Yeah, a few people on 76, but those are the major roads that they drive on. And the reality, Lindsey, is, we don't even have, I keep telling everybody all the time, we lie to people constantly when we call 470. It's 370. It's not a ring road. It goes around 3 sections of this of the city. It doesn't go around 4. We lie all the time and call it 470 when in fact it's 370.
That's a good point.
And by the way, we need to be harder on that because until people really figure out what's going on along those lines, it's going to be 15 years before we ever get the other loop ever built anyways. I'm not exaggerating when I say that.
You're not.
Yeah.
Anyways, just given the money situation. Okay, one last any last things before I let you go, Lindsey?
Well, so we know now that there'll be a ballot measure this November to keep the Tabor cap refund, so to keep your tax refunds permanently that you should get back from Tabor. We're going to be working really hard on that because we have to keep Tabor intact. Tabor is the taxpayer bill of rights, and it's the only thing that's keeping our state's economy in the shape that it's in right now.
Yep, fully agree. Got to make sure that has to stay intact.
It has
to stay there. So
critical.
Well, we'll continue to talk about that, Lindsey. Keep up the great work, Colorado Rising Action. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Lindsey. Thank you.